Welcome, everyone. Listen, if you're ready to finally speak English with confidence, dramatically level up your vocabulary, nail those frustrating grammar rules, and actually sound like a native speaker, well, you are exactly where you need to be. In today's explainer, we are diving deep into an advanced English fluency masterclass. We're going to break down the exact vocabulary, grammar, and speaking hacks that take people from basic textbook learners to highly fluent natural communicators. So get comfortable, grab a notebook if you want, and let's jump right into this journey. Okay, let's just get real for a second and start with a massive frustration that so many of us face. Why do some people study English for literally years, poring over textbooks, passing all the exams, but then still completely freeze up when it's time to speak in the real world? It's incredibly frustrating, right? You might know every grammar rule on paper, but when you open your mouth, the words just don't flow. It feels like hitting a brick wall. But here's the good news. The answer to this mystery is actually incredibly simple, and it's an absolute game changer for how you should be practicing. The secret playbook really comes down to this one fascinating contrast. You see, struggling students usually try to memorize isolated single words, which are totally disconnected from any real context. Fluent speakers, they don't do that. They learn natural patterns. So today, we're unpacking the exact techniques that advanced speakers use, and we're shifting our focus entirely away from memorizing random words and toward the natural patterns that actually make up real everyday conversation. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We've got 5 key steps to hit: vocabulary patterns, idioms and phrasal verbs, an incredibly useful advanced grammar rule, connected speech, and finally, the shadowing technique. Let's get right into step 1. All right, kicking things off with part 1, patterns over single words, or mastering collocations. The core idea here is absolutely crucial. Fluent English is not about swallowing a dictionary and using the most complex words possible. It's simply about using everyday words naturally. If you're translating directly from your native language word for word in your head, you might end up saying things like make homework or strong rain. Now, will people understand you? Sure, but it definitely sounds unnatural. Native speakers naturally group these ideas into specific collocations like do homework and heavy rain. It's all about pairing the right simple words together. Take a look at these everyday examples. Take a break, make a decision, pay attention, catch a bus. Notice how you don't do a decision or grab a bus. By learning these highly practical word pairings as single chunks of information, your speech instantly sounds way more natural. You don't have to pause and overthink which verb goes with which noun. You just drop the whole package deal into your sentence at once. Moving right along to part 2, idioms and phrasal verbs. Basically, speaking like a native. Native speakers absolutely love dropping idioms into their speech. They're basically the spice of the English language. Take the idiom break the ice. This just means starting a conversation comfortably, usually when you're in a room full of strangers and things feel a little tense or awkward. To see how this works in real life, think about this sentence. It was difficult at first, but the teacher broke the ice. Boom! Just by throwing in broke the ice, your conversational fluency sounds instantly higher. Next up, we have the phrasal verb give up, which means to quit or stop trying. Look, this is so much more common in real spoken English than saying something super formal like, I will stop attempting this. A really great, memorable way to lock this into your brain is the phrase, never give up on your dreams. Memorizing these little multi-word verbs guarantees your English is going to sound so much more authentic and way less rigid. Okay, part 3, the advanced grammar rule, where we simplify prepositions. I know, grammar can be a total headache, but mastering just this one specific high-impact rule will literally elevate your spoken English from intermediate to advanced overnight. It's called the gerund rule. The formula is incredibly simple. Preposition plus verb plus ing. And this rule is absolute. After prepositions, you have to use gerunds. So whenever you hit a preposition like in, at, or without, and an action comes next, you just slap an ing onto that verb. Let's do a rapid-fire test drive of this so it really sticks. I am interested in learning English. See that? In is the preposition and learning gets the ing. She is good at speaking English. At is the preposition, speaking is the gerund. He left without saying goodbye. Without is the preposition, saying gets the ing. It's a rock-solid pattern. Once you lock this rule into your brain, you're going to avoid a huge, very common mistake, and you'll instantly sound like a pro. All right, on to part 4, mastering connected speech. This is, for sure, the secret to native pronunciation. Have you ever listened to a native speaker and thought, whoa, they are talking way too fast. Well, fun fact, it's actually not the speed that's throwing you off. It's connected speech. There's a huge difference between written English and real spoken English. In writing, it's very rigid. What are you doing? But when we speak fluidly, those sounds just melt together into what are you doing? Want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. If you try to perfectly pronounce every single word, you actually end up sounding like a robot. Embracing these blurred, connected sounds is the real key to flowing naturally in a conversation. And finally, part 5, the shadowing technique. This is going to be your new daily practice. So how do we actually make all of this stick? It's time to take all this great theory, the collocations, the idioms, that connected speech, and turn it into a concrete daily habit. Let me walk you through the steps of the shadowing technique. Step 1, listen to a short piece of audio from a native speaker. Step 2, pause it. Step 3, repeat exactly what you just heard. And when I say exactly, I mean become a total copycat. Don't just read the words. Mimic the pronunciation, the rhythm, the intonation, the whole shebang. Now here is the absolutely crucial part, the time commitment. The magic number is 15. What I found so amazing in this masterclass is that doing this shadowing practice for exactly 15 focused minutes a day is literally all it takes to see massive improvement. You don't need to lock yourself in a room for hours of exhausting study. Nope, just 15 focused minutes of listening, pausing, and perfectly repeating every single day. As we wrap up this explainer, I really need you to internalize this one thought. English fluency is not a talent. Honestly, no one is just born with some magical language gene. It's a skill. And just like learning to play the guitar or shooting a basketball, skills require consistent practice. The more reps you do, the more confident you get. Real success in a language doesn't come from some sudden burst of inspiration. It comes straight from showing up and putting in the work. And that perfectly brings us to our final takeaway. Small daily improvements lead to stunning results. It's really not about conquering the entire English dictionary by tomorrow morning. It's about learning one new collocation today, maybe trying out a connected speech pattern tomorrow, and making sure you hit those 15 minutes of shadowing the next day. So I'm going to leave you with this. What are your 15 minutes of practice going to look like today? Thank you so much for checking out this explainer. Keep up that consistency, and I will see you next time.